All right, what's up, guys? Your boy Shady Mike. So, as most of you guys know, right after we went live on launch day with NBA 2K26, early access launch day, I uploaded a video. That video was not meant to be a review of NBA 2K26, but it was just supposed to be my first impressions and thoughts. But it turned into a review, and it turned into a pretty scathing review, a harsh review, and a cold review. And I think now looking back on it, I was emotional. It was launch day. I was really looking for something to be excited about, and I didn't find it. So this morning I woke up to a DM from Dazar from 2K, the gameplay guy, the main guy that has been handling the gameplay for years and is responsible for a lot of the great improvements that we've seen in the game over the years. And listen, I'll just say this as well. I just kind of want to structure this video. Obviously, please do me a solid, all the normal stuff, like and subscribe and all that. But I want to start first off with talking to Dazar. I appreciate him reaching out, you reaching out. If you do ever see this, I am passionate about 2K, man. I had to get to the point talking to my own community where I'm not afraid to talk about my contributions to the simulation community. I've done a lot for this community. I've put a lot of time into this community. So it really sucked on day one to have people saying like I didn't want what's best for the game and stuff. I hope that always comes through in my content. I want to have fun with the game. I want to help others have fun with the game. That's all that ever is. And I always want to do my best to help us get there, right? Together, because that's just how we do it. It's always going to be developer community, right? There's always got to be that, right? I will say this though, myself, and I know I'm speaking for myself, but I'm also speaking for a lot of people in my community. We feel betrayed, we feel let down, and we feel stabbed in the back. We feel like this product isn't for us. So we feel like betrayal. Really, we feel like 2K turned its back on people that play the game the way that we do, right? That's the feeling. So to wake up, have a direct message from an extremely small content creator myself, from the people that make the game, is very reassuring. That stuff goes a long way to let people know that they care. And listen, we feel betrayed. We feel like 2K turned their backs on us, but that's not Dazar. Dazar has a job to do at his company, and he has to do his job. And he's got to work on what he's told to work on. So I understand that, but that little nudge means a lot to me. I don't know if it means a lot to anyone else in the community. I'm not gonna, by the way, I'm not gonna put his DM on the screen. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think if someone messages you privately, you're not supposed to put that out there. So obviously, if people don't believe me, that's cool. But I just wanted to kind of talk through the quick, brief, extremely brief conversation, and he just said, like, basically just said like, hey, you saw the video of the issue that you pointed out, specifically with, I called it the Ben Simmons logic of players just running under the basket and throwing crazy passes and just really not being willing to shoot. And he was just saying that, they do see that. And he said, listen, I don't think this is something that you're really going to be able to fix with sliders. He says, we're working on this. We're going to try and get it fixed for the community. So, that was really good to see. And I, will show my response, but I just said, like, first and foremost, that I did, appreciate, him reaching out, and like I just told you guys that, that definitely does mean a lot to me. But I also, kind of just said, I know, like, that review was cold. I took a lot of shots, and I asked him, because I covered a lot of different points, not just that point. I talked about the force field. I just talked about just the overall, just lackadaisical, weird CPU offense. And the way I worded it to him, I said, I will just read it verbatim. I said, other than that, was there anything else in that video that you felt I may have misrepresented or misunderstood with the game, right? Am I playing the game wrong, right? I said, at the end of the day, I truly want to see 2K succeed, and will always do what I can to help the simulation community enjoy the game more. And so then I said, listen, I got a dev in the DMs. I don't know that I'm always gonna be able to have this chance to push feedback forward. So I just sent him a message of talking about some of the things that I would love to see, in the game, and some of the things that I would love to see improved in the game. And he, pretty much didn't have any pushback. He didn't say like I was overreacting over anything or clowning when I shouldn't have been or being fake or anything like that. And a lot of the comments in that video, that's what they were. It was 2K fans saying I was being fake. I was whining about things that aren't real problems. And so, someone like me of my pedigree in this community, for people to say that's a shame. That's all I can really say. It's a shame. I feel like I've done enough. I feel like I've done enough to get the benefit of the doubt, right? Like if I feel something's wrong with the game and it's something I'm gonna have to put hours and hours of time into fixing with the sliders, I feel like I've done enough for people to not just jump in my comment section and say, "Hey, you're just hating on 2K for an EA check." And so I got that message. I sent Dazar some feedback. He said that he'll pass it along to the people that work on those things. And he said that your points were solid, and he said he understood that I'm just trying to help people, enjoy the game more. So that was just all I want to say directly to Zara, that I appreciated that. That means a lot to me. I don't know if that means a lot to the rest of the community. I don't think I deep down think it could be over. I don't know if simulation basketball, there's a place for it. That's my honest thoughts. I would love for Dazar to prove me wrong and 2K to prove me wrong, but I've talked to so many people that said, I'm just not buying this game because it's clearly not for me. When they did the My NBA, courtside report, I think it's called, and it didn't even get a video, right? It's bad, right? And so so that was all I just wanted to talk about. And I'm here. I have the game. I'm going to be working on the game. We'll be playing the game 100%. I do think. I hope that things get better with this game. I understand that people might not like the feedback that I shared back, but I shared feedback about real shooting percentage, all things real shooting percentage, the lack of swishes, the lack of fouls on jump shots, and the lack of dynamic landings. That's what matters to me. And as a simulation player, one of the few left that plays on real shooting percentage, you never know how many times you're going to have a dev in your DMs. So that's what I decided to relay to him, because that's what I wanted. That's the number one thing that I want fixed in a 2K simulation basketball game. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the news that we got that cross-platform 2K share is dead. It has been killed off by 2K. They're not doing it anymore, and I think that is a shame. I understand why they did it, and I'm sure there's some legal things going on there, but I'm pretty sure it's because, PC players were getting legends that aren't supposed to be on rosters, putting them on rosters and then uploading the 2K share for console players to download. And when 2K is showing their game, if somebody goes on a console and says, "Hey, wait a minute, what's Andre Iguodala doing here on this PlayStation and he's not licensed? How did this happen?" I'm sure there's legal ramifications there. What my problem is 2K chose to punish the community instead of stepping up their security, right? So now myself as a PC player who makes rosters and sliders for PC, I have no way to get my content over to console players, because I'm definitely not buying extra copies of the game just to share some sliders. That's not happening. So 2K could have beefed up their 2K share. They could have hired someone to audit the content. They could have implemented fail safes. They could simply delete the content that's not supposed to be in the game. But instead, they chose to take a route that, in my opinion, hurts the community more than anyone. All the roster makers on PC, and that's disappointing. So that's, a serious point for me as a PC gamer going forward. Am I just never going to have any good rosters ever again to play with? And pretty much sticking to that same type of talking point, we heard some information on the modding community. Now, I personally don't cover the 2K modding community at all. You guys know that. I've been away from that scene for a very long time, so everything that I'm hearing is just hearsay. I have heard, and again, it's completely alleged, so take it with a grain of salt, that 2K has done something with the files, whether they locked them down or encrypted them, that makes cyberface modding really hard. And I was confused, but it actually makes a little bit of sense now why I had heard so many modders say like, oh, well, maybe I'll just stay on 2K25. Especially, you got to think about the paid modders. If they're trying to sell mods, and we're already getting news that 2K26 might not be as moddable as 2K25, is there going to be a push for the majority of the PC community to stay on 2K25? I can tell you, me personally, as I don't mod, I really only care about gameplay, right? Like, I want the game to be good. I don't care that much about cyber faces. Like, it's cool. But you know, that's not the reason I play the game. A lot of these guys just, you know, are really into cyber faces, screenshots, stuff. I want to actually play and enjoy the game. So that's not a deal breaker for me. But it's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, considering, you know, what we've heard. And I also want to say, considering 2K's track record with not being great with updating player likenesses. So we'll have to see how, you know, that progresses. But other than that, guys, this is just an update. You know, we're going to be covering 2K on the channel. Hey, you know, the feedback has been crazy. The support has been crazy. The hate has been crazy. All of it in all phases. We're just winning everywhere. So, it's just been interesting. The last thing I thought I was going to do today was wake up to a DM from a 2K dev, but I'm glad it happened. I hope things get better. You guys know, regardless, I will be here supporting, dropping sliders, rosters, all that cool stuff. Make sure you guys are here, like and subscribe and support the channel and all that. But other than that, it's your boy Shady Mike. Appreciate the support. I'm signing out. Peace. Threes.